My name is Tammy Yates. For everyone who was at the 20th anniversary reception and award ceremony last night, if you are willing, would you kindly raise your hand? If you're willing, wow. Thank you so much for coming. And for those who weren't there, you missed out on a fabulous evening, let me tell you, if I do say so myself. No, but really, last night it was a lot of laughter, a lot of prizes, a lot of food, but most importantly, a lot of good people and a lot of love in the room. So as I shared last night, 5 years ago, we held our 15th anniversary in this very space and place. And we also held the first international forum on HIV and rehabilitation research in this space and place. And quite honestly, as we shared last night, it was also the first major event that our founding executive director, Elise Zach, missed. And we know that she's with us in spirit. We know that she will probably be looking at every agenda item and looking at every face that walks into the room, and will be smiling to see old faces and will be smiling to see new faces. And we have so many new faces in the room from around the world. Kelly, 5 years ago, who would have thought, that we would have representation from Australia, So we're just so happy to have you all here. Elise is with our ancestors. And on that note, let us acknowledge the land on which we're all present today. For thousands of years, it has been the territory of the Huron-Wendat and Petun First Nations, the Seneca, and mostly the Mississaugas of the Credit River. The territory was the subject of the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy and the Ojibwe and allied nations to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. Today, this meeting place that we call Toronto is still home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. And we are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work in this community and on this territory. We also acknowledge the many other peoples who have contributed to this, our home, Toronto. We want to acknowledge the many traditions and cultural backgrounds that are represented in this room from around the world. You, your families, and your ancestors have all played a role in making this space an inclusive and welcoming one. And for that, I say, on behalf of Realize, thank you. We have immense wisdom in the room, and on behalf of our board, our members, our staff, and behalf of the core planning committee of this fantastic forum, I can express that we are excited and we're humbled to be working with you. As a founding member of Kirk, Realize has always been and will continue to be committed to supporting the vision and mission of this collaborative. Anyone who has ever staged an event like this knows the Herculean task that it is to put on something like this. But this one in particular is always worth the effort. And for that, I would like to thank my dear friend Kelly and all of our funders and in-kind supporters as well as the core planning team. So for all of you from all over the world, thank you for being here. We have a great day in store, a rich day in store, and we look forward to learning from each other. So I'll now hand over to Gord Arbus, who will bring remarks from St. Mike's. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Tammy. It's wonderful to be here, and for those of you who don't know, this is part of St. Michael's Hospital, which is really legendary in its over 150-year history of providing outstanding patient care to the most marginalized populations, people living with HIV, people who are underhoused or homeless, people living with addictions, mental health issues, transgender patients. And it's always under the guise of patient care first. And also, I'd like to think that we do wonderful, innovative research and quality improvement initiatives, and always together with the community, hand in hand with the community. I've been working here for almost 25 years, and in that time I've had the privilege of working with Kelly O'Brien and people like Stephanie Nixon, Francisco, Kate, and so it's incredible what you guys have put together for this conference, and it was 5 years ago that we were in the same room, which is pretty remarkable. So it's wonderful to see everyone from all over the world on this beautiful sunny day in Toronto. Welcome. And now I have the privilege of introducing Francisco, who I've also had the privilege of working with for many years. And Francisco is a senior research associate at St. Michael's Hospital, the Center for Urban Health Solutions here. His research includes HIV stigma, aging with HIV, and sexual health for gay and bisexual men. And he's the founding member of KIRK. He's the PI of a well-known study called Heads Up, which looks at people living with HAND. And again, he's the founding member of KIRK, and he's facilitated all of the 4 forums to date. So in looking at the introduction I prepared, I came across some feedback from the previous forum back in 2013. Great facilitator. Keep Francisco as facilitator. He's the perfect person to lead us through these discussions. He has a sexy accent. That one I made up. He's perfect in this role. So guess what? We're lucky to have him back. We're very grateful. And thanks very much. Back by popular demand, here's Francisco.
Okay, folks, thank you very much. A couple of things that Gord did not say, and they're my probably only claim to fame, because he has to keep the patient-doctor confidentialities that I'm HIV positive since 1985. It was diagnosed in 86. And the other is that I'm a gay man. People don't know. They think I'm straight. Only the gay men that I go out with are gay, and there are lots of those. So it's out there. I've outed myself. Okay, that's all I will do today. Oh, thank you. So we're excited to kick off the 4th International Forum on HIV and Rehabilitation Research, and Intersectoral Policy Dialogue is the 4th forum. As it was mentioned before, is truly a collaborative effort of clinicians, researchers, policy stakeholders, representatives from the community, and I can see some of you have done amazing things over the year in practice, in the media, in education, and now I'm supposed to tell you about the bathrooms. How did that happen? So, just in case this whole thing is making you a little bit sick, so the bathrooms are in the hall down there. That's where you find the accessible washrooms, and we're asking you to turn off your ringers. Hook up all you want. It's all fine. We're sex positive, but don't have the ringers on, right? Because then Grindr goes clink, 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 and we know you're lucky, and the other people on the other table will hate you, right? Because you're getting lots and the others are getting none. So for a number of reasons, turn them down. Thank you. And please review during the breaks we'll have the refreshments and everything outside, and review the posters, please. There are 8 posters outside, and I think the actual authors of the posters are there to chat with you about what they've done. Okay, so now I have to do the acknowledgements, and this part is very important because the show would not be possible. Oh, never mind. The goals. These are very important as well. To facilitate knowledge transfer, I'm going to read them, an exchange on HIV, aging and rehabilitation research, clinical practice, and service delivery. I can tell you this is very, very true. I've seen people who have hit rock bottom, my folks, and not only those of us who are aging with HIV and start having complications, that are common to aging, but young folks, as soon as they get diagnosed, they have all kinds of problems, and so there's a lot of work to do. Don't get fooled by this idea that you only have to help us, the elderly, and please do help us, the elderly, protect us from the millennials. Did I say that? I always feel like they're going to be pushing my wheelchair and texting, and I'm terrified of that. So those of you who do patient, professional education, tell them stop, texting while you're pushing the old guy in the wheelchair. It terrifies me. So it's important. The goal is really very valid today. The next one is to foster new research and clinical partnerships on HIV and aging. Sometimes that does not happen here in the room, but Kelly is masterful at this, and she's just recently connected me with someone in the UK doing exactly what we're doing with neurocognitive issues. It's all about schmoozing. The unconference out there is just as important as the conference in here, right? So go for it. Chat, gossip, vent about the event, and get together and do research, please, because we need it. And the third and fourth objectives are to foster mentorship and training in HIV and aging research. Again, many of you bring your students and bring your community scholars who are just as important as your students, with all my due respect, because they're folks in the community who will be leaders, who will stay connected to the organizations, who will push in the boards of directors and other places to do stuff, right, related to rehabilitation, all aspects of living with HIV. And the last one is to identify new and emerging research priorities in HIV, aging, and rehabilitation. So anything goes. Believe it or not, we've been doing this for 30 years, and the epidemic's still on, but it's still very fresh in certain ways. There's still a fertile ground to do a number of things. 1 minute. If I go home, what do you do? So I had a great time doing that. Okay, now the acknowledgements. Realize, former Canadian Working Group in HIV and Rehabilitation. We love you, but she showed me the 1 minute, so I'll stop there. Revenge. No, they're amazing folk, and they're working under difficult times in terms of money. Tammy and Wendy and Pooja and Janet and others that I forget to mention really go out and work really hard. And Kate who went like this. God, see, this is why I don't do this. Okay, realize we love them. The Canadian Institutes of Health Research, our dear funder, we love to hate, but actually they do put their money where their mouth is, and we are able to go back time and time again to get our $25,000 to make a miracle, or less. Or less. Okay, no, we're happy. Is somebody from CIHR here? Nobody's recording. I love it. Okay. The Canadian is another group of friends, and unfortunately, Andrew Matije could not be here this time. It's the Canadian Association for HIV Research. They have really the only conference in Canada at the moment. There's an Indigenous conference, which is just as important, but this is the largest conference of its kind in Canada every year. Aside from a number of things, I have to really thank them because they're good partners with a number of our projects. The Canadian Society for International Health have become in the last 2 or 3 years a very important partners. Eva here. Hi. How are you? So there you are. Thank you. Thank you for supporting us. I'm so used to seeing Katerina, so I was like, oh, Katerina's not here, but we love you too. There you go. Gilead, oh, where are you? We just said hello. So we have, I'm having one of those terrible moments of Karen. Sorry, I know your name, but as soon as I'm here, forget everything. Karen Chow, thank you for Gilead is here supporting us as well, and we appreciate your contribution. Gord and a number of you work for St. Michael's Hospital, and as I mentioned yesterday, it was a dream come true for me to work in a place where I can just go down 2 floors and be in the emergency room. I made it. It's the dream of any person with HIV. Get me closer to them. Okay. Oh my God, these folks are amazing. They're sitting in the back. They're jolly. They're interesting. They have really strange accents. So I usually understand half of what they're saying, but I love them. And so Patrick Gales worked with us for a number of times. He's recorded every single thing we've said and edited all the expletives that I've proffered and on the email. And Luc Oran, right, who's actually not British. I'll tell you a secret. I learned that he's French. It's okay. It's okay. We'll be fine. And so one of them is Brexit. The other one is not. Save yourself while you can. Just saying. Okay, won't read each one of them, but each one of these folks, and many of you are here from all over, have contributed to the actual getting the dissemination grant. The money for the miracle. That's very important. So some of them, as you see, are from what we call from away. You know that expression, right? People from away, meaning you're not from here, but we love you. I'm not from here either, but I've been here longer than you have. And so here we have the different agencies and organizations across the world. And here we have the ones that are represented here. The ones that have not been mentioned so far is Casey House. We have the lovely Suchan Carson, who's an accomplished researcher at Casey House, a place that has given us so much of their space lately. Thank you so much. And McMaster, the University of Toronto, and of course the one and only Universities Without Walls. Oh yeah, amazing. That's my gig. And so we have a core planning committee. Again, some of the same names. You'll think, oh my God, these people will never stop self-congratulating. Well, we won't, because that's the way we sell a product. My time is up. Sure. And very important, so I introduced you to these 2 folks at the back with the cameras and stuff. And our rapporteur, Sai. Where are you, Sai? Oh, there you go. How are you? I haven't seen you since last year. And Matthew Degenet, where are you? Thank you. There you go. And Lisa Boucher, thank you for being with us. They're on their screens. They're not doing late work for school. They're actually taking notes right on, because we're so digital, we're so up to the moment. And then we'll give you back the feedback, right, that you'll take. You're writing my words are like super important. Okay, so you're being filmed. Those of you who do not want to be filmed, right? Is this right, Patrick? What happens to those who do not want to be filmed? You don't know. They have a little sticker on there. That's what you have to say. Right, so they have a little red sticker, and we assure you that you'll be edited out. Take a time to go to Three Flying Piglets. They're a little bit, they push the envelope just a little bit in terms of media, and they're very cheeky. But, since this time you can find anything in YouTube, you'll find the stuff tame compared to YouTube. So there you go. And, you can, those of you who are like so in, right, you can hashtag us and use Twitter feed and stuff like that. Do good things, otherwise we'll sue you if you say something bad about it. We can't do that. Oh, this is very important. Where are the yellow sheets in your... Let's have a show and tell. There you go. So, thank you. So please, we ask you to do this. This is how we get the millions that we get in order, we need good evaluations. I'm not supposed to say that, but, and I never said that to my students. And so please take the time to fill out the evaluations. Now, how many minutes over? 5?